Hello, and welcome to Dice Friends. This is episode 1 of Best of Intentions. I'm Dale Friesen. I will be the Dungeon Master today. Joining me are Jacob and Corey and Andy. We will start with an introduction to the setting in just a bit, but first I want you guys to know who's here. Jacob, who are you?
Hello, my name is Jacob Burgess. I am a writer for games, a voice actor, and the director of operations for an indie game publisher called Yizard Games. You can find me at Jacob Burgess VO on Twitter. And this evening, I shall be playing Patches, the Warforged. Very excited to meet everyone, and very, very excited to start our journey together where no one will die ever.
Corey, who are you?
Hi, I'm Corey. I work here at LoadingReadyRun as a streamer and editor. I'll be playing Holler, the Warforged, who doesn't have an accent, but maybe we'll acquire one shortly.
You can plug that module into your vocoder.
Oh, fantastic.
Mr. Cowden, who are you?
Hello, I'm Andy. I'm an unemployed actor, and I will be playing Marcel de Tarashk. Is a half-orc ranger for the House Tarashk, and I'm looking forward to figuring this guy out and having some fun.
Awesome.
Hooray. Okay,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know. This is going to be fun. So what you guys need to know out there in the audience land is that this is part of the Oracle of War campaign, which is one of Wizards of the Coast's Adventurers League organized play campaigns. So that means we are playing characters according to their rules, according to their setup, and these are characters that, you know, if we're at a convention, we could pull out this character and play it in a game. There would be notes. You could also play Oracle of War campaign or characters. They would be interchangeable with these. There are a number of Oracle of War games available online, and set in the wonderful world of Eberron, which is a cool place. It's kind of a steampunky, and we're on the frontier. We're in the village of Salvation, which has kind of got to feel like a gold rush place, because it, as Jacob is pointing out, is right on the border of the Mournlands. Now, the Mournlands were created 4 years ago on the Day of Mourning. Nobody knows what happened on the Day of Mourning, but the nation of Kira, the entire nation, got covered in gray mist that rapidly spread right to the political borders and stopped. And to this day, the nation is entirely encapsulated by this mist. And the Village of Salvation is right next to the Wall of Mist. If you go outside, you can walk up to it. It goes up like 200 feet. If you have an airship and fly over it, you can't see it because there's this bubble of mist covering the entire nation. And if you're trying to see what's going on in there, you can't. It's opaque, it's thick. Besides, it would probably be confusing. The geography of the Mournlands changes a lot. There's chaos magic, there's wild magic. Sometimes there's chaotic wild magic. There are mutants. There are poisons, there are diseases, there are extremely tiny vermin, there are extremely big vermin. There are all sorts of great things in there. Lots and lots of undead, because most of the people who were in the nation on the Day of Mourning didn't make it out. And a lot of them are still in there bumping around. Now, this nation was, among the 5 nations, the one where all the rich people lived and where the art shows took place, and all the sorts of entertainments that the rich people liked to have, which means there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. And so people occasionally like to go in there, or if they're smart, send people in there to bring stuff out. And that's what the Village of Salvation is for. See, it's a clever name because salvagers are in salvation. You are hanging out in a tavern called the Grey Beyond. You have either been contacted by or told to work for a woman named Channa who isn't here yet. You're hanging out in this tavern. Marcel, you have been given the beer that they serve here. There's only one kind of beer. And Patches and Holler have been shown that there are little sockets where you can, plug your finger in and get a buzz. So you're looking around the tavern. It's about what you'd expect from a Gold Rush style tavern. There's a massive rack of antlers from some sort of mutated elk that's mounted above the bar. There are a couple of regulars. There are some tables full of some tired looking dusty people. Sitting in the back corner, there is a gnome who is by himself. He's drinking. He's got a holy symbol of the silver flame on his tunic. He's clearly not who you're after. You're waiting for Channa de Galanda, and if your name is de Galanda, you're probably a halfling. So if you want to do any interaction with each other, or if you know each other, we can do that now. If you got nothing, I can have her show up and we can jump into the game.
Would y'all like to know each other ahead of time? Or shall we do the classic, oh, hey?
That is a good question. Is it likely for us to know each other?
Seems like a small town.
Yeah.
So it's certainly reasonable. The war, as I say, ended 2 years ago. People traveled so much during the war. You three, as I recall your backgrounds, were all actually inside the nation of Kira on the day of mourning. It's reasonable. It's not required. Do that which seems right in your own eyes, please.
All right.
I would like to have just arrived a little while ago, having been sent here from out of town.
Okay.
All right. Well, I pick up my beer and I say, well, isn't this wonderful? Look, you get a little buzz with the thing and I get a little buzz with this. Isn't that nice? What a lovely pub. I like this place. You should come here more often. I take a sip.
I put my finger in the socket and go, oh, yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah.
C'est bon. Well, where do you think this Channa person is?
Outside.
That makes sense. They're either in this room or they're not in this room. That makes perfect sense to me.
There's a big bulletin on the wall. It doesn't have anything posted on it. Just, that was a piece of flavor I meant to give you earlier.
I will make a beeline over to the only other Warforged that I see. Pardon me, excuse me for interrupting. This seems like the place to wait for someone, and there doesn't seem to be any empty tables, he says, indicating 3 empty tables. Do you mind if I sit with you?
Oh, please do. The more the merrier. This is my name is Marcel, and this is my associate Oler.
Pull up a socket.
My name is Patches. No, thank you. I stopped socketing years ago. Sit.
Merveilleuse.
So it's a pleasure to meet you both. Lovely establishment here. Where does one find lodgings in this town? Is it here?
So there is a Salvation Hotel. I don't know if Holler or Marcel have looked around town at all. There's also an inn. It's kind of it's called the Tin Pot. you can possibly get lodging there. They might also be able to put you up here at the Grey Beyond. Now, as a Warforged, you're also able to just find any sheltered place and rest standing up. But that's less civilized.
Yes.
Yeah. You might want to check out the Tin Pot. There's a good overhang in the back alley you can shelter under if it rains.
Yes. I'm certain I could do that, thank you. I was looking more for a place with a bed and such. Yes.
So the bartender's busy, but if you wave her over, she'll answer your questions.
Well, you know who's the person to ask about this is the bartender, and it looks like she's not busy. So I'm going to wave her over. Mademoiselle bartender, if you have a moment of your time, I have some questions for you with my new friend here, Monsieur Patches. Is that right?
Yeah, it absolutely is, Monsieur Marcel. Yes.
Oui.
Marcel?
That's correct.
Excellent. Where do you hail?
Oh, I hail from the House Tharashk. I'm sure you've heard of it. We are from the bit in the back. You know, we don't tend to bother anyone unless they bother us. You know, it's a good time.
As houses do. I can see you're one of the marked. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. And he poses and gives it the best jawline. You like it? I think it's coming in quite nicely. It goes. It's better than I imagined. I imagined, some people get this and it doesn't look good. It's not symmetrical. It doesn't, accentuate the cheekbones. But I got lucky. I got very lucky. I won the Dragon Mark lottery.
I think your other side's better, though.
You think so? Well, I have 2 of them. I will use both.
So, Reason Smith, the bartender, saw you gesture her over, and she's assuming you want another pint, so she brings you one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. We're inquiring after lodging. Where is the best place around here for a good bed?
Well, I can put you upstairs, but if you want anything more elaborate, you probably got to go to the Salvation Hotel, if you trust them. Personally, I stay here. I think, you could stay here. It'd be cheap. It'd be reasonable. It's your call.
I like reasonable. I'm quite reasonable myself. What do you feel reasonable is?
So, am I right in thinking that you're Channa's group?
Well, that's a coincidence.
Because I was talking to her earlier, and she's already made some arrangements for where you're staying. But if that doesn't work out, come back and talk to me. Because if you're looking for an arrangement, I do have some heavy hauling that could use Warforged touch.
Not exactly built that way. My new friend here might be, though.
I don't know. Are you someone who does hauling?
Right there in the name. Hi, I'm Hauler.
It's like it says on the tin.
Any idea where Channa might be? She outside, you think?
I could send someone to look for her.
Yeah, we don't have all day to be here waiting for her. Your socket's going to run dry at this rate.
Well, she's paying for it, but give me a moment. So she goes over and talks to a kid who has been helping out with some dishes and sends her running off.
Excellent. Yes, those instead of carrier pigeons, we use children. We just whisper into their head, and they run away, and they get to when need to. It's a wonderful system, I've always been very impressed by them.
Yeah. So Channa shows up whenever you tell me Channa shows up.
So you here are part of Channa's group as well.
D'accord. I was sent here from my family. They could come here and do whatever Channa says, and so I am here. What you know?
That's very good to know. That's excellent. Is that what we do?
Yes, that's what I do. It's what I do. I like it.
I like it very much as well. Yes, Holler, you may want to refrain with, you might startle someone or make that cleric back there very nervous. Channa?
Okay, so Channa comes in. The girl's bringing her in. The girl's a human. She looks about 14. She's a lot taller than Channa, who is a halfling. She sees all of you, and she's wearing a short sleeve shirt, so you're able to see her dragon mark. It's on her left bicep. And she sees you and comes over immediately. Holler, have you met Channa before?
Yes.
Okay. So she gives you a nod. Patches and Marcel, you have not met her before. So she comes over. Hello, I'm Channa. Lovely to meet you.
A pleasure. Thank you. What dragon mark?
Galanda is the hospitality family.
Thank you. Oh, de Galanda. Okay. Dear.
Yes.
Yep. Hospitality mark. Marvelous.
So
And you've got the mark of finding, Marcel.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Good as
And
always, Channa.
yes. All right. Well, I've asked you here because I have some information, and I'm hoping that you can help me deal with this information. You are a carefully chosen team. I think this is going to work very well. I feel very positive about this. Now, here is the thing. I am, of course, part of a dragon-marked house, and sometimes those of us who are part of a dragon-marked house can meet someplace and deal with other houses, maybe make some arrangements. Sometimes we have an agent who has some free time. Sometimes we have a need for someone who doesn't have the same skills as us, and so people get moved around. And I was at one of these meetings, and I overheard something very interesting that I think is going to be very helpful, because you see, there were some dwarfs who were there, and they were asking House Orion if they could temporarily set up a rail line to the expo site, the Chaneth expo site inside the Mournlands. Now, I need a couple of things from the Mournlands, and I think this means that the dwarfs must have some way through the impenetrable dome that has been over the expo site ever since the day of mourning. And oh my goodness, that gnome has just knocked over his stool and he's running out the door. Ha! See, people think that because gnomes can't hold their beer, that we halflings, who are the same size as the gnomes, also can't hold our beer. But I promise you, it's not the same thing at all. Anyway, so I want to send you to the expo site. To get in there, I need there's a prototype device for it's a multi-beer tap. I want that. Also, I want
I'm so sorry.
X17
Excuse me.
security
I'm
system.
so sorry.
Oh, yes, please. Patches, it is lovely to meet you. I've been rude. I've been talking and talking. I can see that you're trying to get a word in edgewise. I need to allow for that. Please go ahead. Tell us.
Nobody perhaps thinks the gnome was listening in and then running out the door. I mean, I know it's early days, but perhaps one of us should go after them.
I will do so. Madame de Galanda, it's a pleasure to meet you, but I must see where this gnome person is going. If you do, I'll just stick my head out the door, and I run to the door, and I look out into the street.
Okay. Well, the gnome has already turned a corner. There is a bit of a dust trail. I'm not sure that the average person would necessarily be able to figure this out, but you are pretty good at tracking, as I recall.
This is true.
So shall we attempt some dice rolling?
Oh, that sounds marvelous. Let's do that.
All right. So,
10 minutes in
this,
and we're splitting the party.
yeah, well,
We'll live.
yeah.
I won't go far. I'll see if I can catch him, and if he's way in the distance, I'll give up.
Oh,
Now,
don't get me wrong. It was my idea.
so, I know you've played a million billion games of Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm still going to walk you through this.
Sounds good. I appreciate that. For those listening, I'm new to this. I may stumble a bit. That's fine. Yes. Okay.
So-
Tracking.
Yes, so you're going to use a survival skill, which means you are going to roll your 20-sided die,
Mm-hmm.
and then on your quick reference sheet, it should tell you what you add for survival, which I
Certainly.
can look up if you don't have it handy.
I've got it right here. It's a +4 on a 19 is a 23.
Ooh.
Lovely, but we're not finished.
Okay.
You have a thing called Hunter's Intuition.
Ah, yes.
Now, that means that when you're tracking someone like this, you can also roll a d4 and add that to your tracking number. And I know your
Okay.
number is already high enough that it's going to work, but this is a teaching moment.
True. I've rolled that d4, so on that 23. Now it's now a 26
All right.
altogether. But I appreciate that. Thank you for walking me through that.
My pleasure. All right. 26 is a phenomenal result. So I feel like he took a roundabout route and, probably walked through some standing puddles or whatever. You were still able to find him. He
Excellent.
went to, there's a local temple, and he went in there.
Ah, excellent. What sort does this temple look to be made out to any god that I'm familiar with?
There's a silver flame on the front.
Right, that makes sense. Does it seem to be protected in any way? Are there like just, burly clerics hanging out front?
There are no people hanging out front.
Okay. Well, then I am, because I don't want to leave everybody high and dry someplace
No,
else
no,
and just
no.
make this the Marcel show. But
Nope. Do your thing, man.
Okay,
Seriously, it's okay.
excellent. Well, then that one good. Well, then I will go directly into this. I imagine in my mind now there is just a gnome-shaped dust track that I'm following, and I can see it very plainly. Oh, here we go! Of course, the silver flame. And I walk and I go inside the temple.
Okay, so as you walk in, everybody shuts up immediately. Everybody meaning there are two people. There's the gnome, and there is the local cleric of the Silver Flame. Mm-hmm. So now we want to roll some dice to see how much you heard before they shut up. So listening is a perception check. You should, on your quick reference, also have a perception modifier. So that'll be the D20 plus your perception modifier. And I can't help but notice that Hunter's Intuition applies to two different kinds of skills. You've already done one, and the other one is perception.
Mm-hmm.
So you will be also rolling a D4 to add to this number.
Excellent. I did not do as well. So I rolled a 2, and
on the D4. That's half.
On the D, but as well as the D20. So that means a 2 plus a 4 plus a 2 is an 8.
All right. So now I need to tell you about a couple other mechanics, not because I'm making a recommendation, but because if I'm teaching you, I need to make sure you know what your options are.
Certainly.
So first of all, you each have a hero point at the start of the game. And I will give you a hero point at the start of each game. They don't transition from game to game. We reset to 1 hero point at the start of each game. You can. I see a Jacob question.
Is this the same as inspiration or different?
This is different. I'm going to talk about inspiration in just a moment.
Thank you.
So if you want to, and again, I'm not saying it's worthwhile in this situation, but you can spend a hero point to roll a 6-sided die and add that to your number. Mm-hmm. And as Jacob mentioned, there is also inspiration. Inspiration is a thing you get when you do something cool, or you create part of the game world, or really anytime. Well, I think technically anytime I say, "Oh, you've earned inspiration," but the way I tend to play it is, any of us can say, "Wow, that was cool." You get inspiration, and I don't run inspiration 100% rules as written. I run it so that after you've rolled a d20, if you don't like it, you can spend your inspiration and re-roll it. Should I just start you guys all off with inspiration for this first session, just for the purpose of teaching?
We are pretty cool. So
you did all that.
We're all doing
that
voices.
role playing
That's worth it.
That's true. That's true.
That's true.
Well, that's 3 eyes. So you have inspiration. So I'm not telling you to use it now, and I feel like that just sounds like a lie because I've given you all of this stuff. But this is our first time rolling skills in the campaign on your first ever D&D game. I want you to know what's going on. I see Jacob's hand.
With the inspiration,
yes.
Do you also allow us to trade inspiration? If Andy does not have one and I have one, are you allowed to pass them between players as well?
Ooh. I have no idea what the rules are on that.
Rules as written, it is. I'm asking what your ruling is.
Oh, well, I like the most generous of rules as written and my whim. So for now, let's just go with rules as written, and if we come up with something more generous, we'll do that.
Hey,
Sounds
Andy.
Good. Yes.
Would you like an inspiration?
Well, thank you. We're sharing one between all of us, or do we each get one?
No. We each get one. I'm offering you mine.
Oh, you're very kind, but you're very kind to do so. But I think I shall use mine. I've gotten myself into this situation. I might as well see what. So let's see. Here we go. A 13 plus
don't re-roll
6.
the d4.
Okay, excellent. Well, then that will be 6. The 4 for the perception and the 2 from the d4, and that is a 6 on a 13. That is a 19.
Okay.
Math. Ha ha.
So I put this stuff in there so that later on there could be a moment of, remember way back in that first session, there was that gnome? But, it's always kind of fun to give out more information early, right? So
Sure.
Congratulations on getting this information way early.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry if this has screwed up the narrative completely.
Andy, seriously, if it screwed up the narrative, I wouldn't do it.
Okay, sounds good.
I got your back. You're not going to mess us up.
Excellent,
we just
good.
play. We'll have a good time.
Good.
So what you heard before they quickly shut up and saw you walk in was the gnome saying they can get in. You gotta send a sending to Emperi, and then I think that's all you're getting.
Okay.
And the priestess turns and she's like, "Oh, hello. Can I help?"
Of course, I'm so sorry. I saw this fellow run out of the pub just now, and I think he may have dropped his wallet. And I take out my wallet, and I say, is this yours? I found it on the floor just after you left.
So he walks over and he takes this thing. Now, this gnome is like 3 feet tall. So I'm picturing like he takes your wallet, which for you is a normal size wallet, and he's looking through this. And you've got some identification papers, I believe. Would they be in here?
Oh, they probably would be.
All right, so he reads those. And then he says, no, this isn't mine. Thank you. And gives it back.
Oh, that's all right. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you so much. This is a lovely temple. Not too many columns. That's just the way I like it. Anyway, very nice to see you. I bid you a good day. And I turn on my heel and I leave.
All right. And with that 19, I'm sure you can hear the gnome say, that was one of them, as you leave.
Excellent. And I make my way back to the pub.
That's good. Intimidation.
I guess back at the pub, I'm just like, so you're sure gnomes and halflings are not the same? Like, they can drink different amounts, different things?
Halflings are experts at drinking beer. I suppose gnomes can drink all sorts of various potions and whatnot. I've never really met a gnome who was able to keep up with me when I was drinking beer, but who knows? Maybe there will be such a gnome someday. I just need to meet that person.
My world is shaken.
And I come in, I say, hello, mes amis. So what did I miss? I'm sorry. We'll talk later.
A lot of beer talk, good sir. Did you manage to track that gnome down?
I did, and he went his merry way to this temple of the silver flame, and I didn't. I chose the discretion as the better part of valor, and I caught a snippet of information. Madame Galanda, does the name Emperi mean anything to you?
Emperi? Not off the top of my head. No.
See.
There's a bunch of people in here, right?
Yes.
Pardon me for saying so. Haller, didn't you mention that there was a nice overhang somewhere in a back alley with a bit of privacy where we could discuss matters involving dragon-marked houses so we don't run into any more overzealous gnomes, perhaps?
Yeah, it's right behind the inn with the good beds.
Fantastic. What do you say, my housed friend? Shall we take a bit of a stroll where we have a bit more privacy? It's midday. These people aren't nearly drunk enough for this.
I shall follow your lead.
Excellent. Haller, I shall follow your lead. Marcel?
Oh, well, I will follow your lead, Patches, of course.
Perfect.
All right, so I trundle off towards the Tin Pan, was it?
The Tin Pot.
Tin Pot.
Yes. Yep.
Not Tin Pan Alley. It's Tin Pot Alley.
Tin Pot Alley. Yep. And we can continue the conversation while we're walking.
Yes. So here's the thing. I feel like the dwarfs are getting in there, and with the reason I think that is because there was a temporary rail line put in for the expo, and they want it repaired 6 months from now. So in the Mournlands, you can repair a rail line, and it goes down in about a month or so because of the changing geography and the wild magic and the chaos magic and the undead and the various monsters and also the weather. But if they're getting it repaired temporarily, that must mean they have a plan. So what I need for you to do is to get in there while they have whatever it is opened up, and I need you to get me the beer multi-tap prototype and the X17 security system. And in order to help you with this, I'm giving you an inn, because the best thing is to own an inn. It's an inn that I actually had partial ownership of, and I've managed to secure all of it. I'm keeping 10% ownership, and I'm giving each of you 30% ownership in the Velvet Griffin. Now, the reason this is so great is because it's just north of here, right on the path from the rail line is going to be taking to get to the expo site. The expo site, by the way, was a manor house right on the Bray River, right where it turns north toward Lake Errol. So it's unfortunately covered in this impenetrable dome. I'm sure I've told you that already. So I need you to go to the inn, and I need to hang out there and probably clean it up, because it hasn't been lived in 4 years and might need a little bit of cleaning. But you can own it, and you can live there and have it as your base of operations and watch for the dwarfs, because I'm sure they're going to have to go right past the inn in order to get to the expo site. So I'm going to give you a cart with a bunch of cleaning stuff, but there's a problem. You're not allowed to just go into the Mournlands and take stuff, because you'll be accused of looting. But I have a solution to that. You see, there are these brokers here in Salvation who are the salvage brokers, and they put together salvage teams, and they send people on salvage missions, and they have a letter of marque from the King of Brayland, and they can allow you to go in and get whatever you need and bring it out and hand it in to them, and they will give you some compensation for it. And that is all covered under their letters of marque for the King of Brayland. So what I need you to do is get some mission. I don't care if you're doing it. I don't care if you actually get anything that's on your mission. You just need to have the authorization to be inside the Mournlands, looking around and doing stuff. I think that this is going to work out well.
Could you write that down in a list, like point form?
This bullet point would be helpful, if you could.
Yes.
Dwarves,
Point one,
and you
do the
want...
stuff I said. Point two, turn the inn into a great success. Point three, we all live happily ever after. I can write that down.
I'm very happy I don't need to breathe all of the oxygen just left the immediate area. An inn?
Yes. Congratulations.
In there.
Yes.
And you want us to run it?
I don't care what you do with it. I'm giving it to you. What I actually want you to do is to hang out there and live there until the dwarfs go past, and then follow them to the expo site. I mean, I guess you could just go to the expo site and camp out and wait for them, but who knows when that'll be. I'm trying to give you a more comfortable place to stay while you're waiting for the dwarfs.
That's much obliged. Now, you'd mentioned 10%.
Well, yes. I'm keeping 10%.
Understood.
We get 30% each. This seems like a very good deal. I'm not one to turn down an asset. This is very good.
I tend to not look... All right, I just want to make sure. Let's just go over this gently. You want us to go to a broker, find someone to give us a writ of marque for us to go into the Mournlands. You have given us 90% of the Velvet Griffin, and we'll talk about the name in just a little while. You want us to use that as our base of operations, wait for the dwarves to go by, follow the dwarves into the expo hall, acquire these 2 items, and then bring them back out, correct?
Back to the Velvet Griffin, because if you bring them back out, the nature of the letter of marques, you see, that the brokers have negotiated with the king, is that they would then have to put anything you bring out while in the Mournlands under this letter of marque up for auction, because the aristocrats of Brayland like to have first refusal on anything you bring out. So if you bring out the X-17 security system and the
how I say things
prototype,
and then you say things.
Yes, then yes. So take them to the Velvet Griffin.
And you will pick them up there?
Yes.
Because you're sneaking into the Mournlands?
Because I'm making other arrangements that I haven't made yet. I mean, anyone could go into the Mournlands. It's just if you're going into places and taking stuff, you might look like looters. And I don't want you to look like looters. If we go to a place where I'm one of the owners and I take something from a place where I'm an owner, then that's a completely different situation.
That's very clever. I like this very much.
How do you prove you own something in a destroyed land?
I was already the owner before the day of mourning, and I have the deed. And I have worked up some paperwork so that each of you can show that you have this deed dating back to before the day of mourning.
It was more of a rhetorical, flabbergasted question, but I appreciate the information. So, my new erstwhile companions, let's go get a broker, I suppose.
How much
meant
do
to get you some
dwarves
keys.
drink? How, what?
Keys.
What's
I forgot to
happening?
give you keys. And she has a ring of keys for each of you.
Ooh, jangly. I like
All
them.
right. Holler, you have questions.
Yes, I'm happy to answer questions. It shows that you're thinking and engaging with the plot. Please tell me your questions and I will answer them.
These dwarves. What do they look like?
They're tall. They're like 4.5, 5 feet tall. I think some of them have beards. I don't know that it's the exact people I saw at the meeting who will be going there. They were just arranging. The people I saw at the meeting were arranging for the rail lines to be repaired.
I
Okay.
see.
And we're to
Alright.
follow these dwarves in because they're the only ones with any means of egress into the expo hall.
Yes.
Do I have that
entry
right?
or egress? Yes. There's this dome that we don't know what it is. It wasn't there before the day of mourning, and then after the day of mourning, it was there. So you see, I've arranged for the three of you because you are the perfect people for this mission. Because we have someone who works security at the expo site, and we have someone who has a connection with the rail people, because depending on what's going on with the X-17, you might need to repair the rail yourself. And then we have someone who will watch your backs.
Who?
What's an X-17?
It's some sort of security system that people were using. It was being demoed at the Chaneth House Expo, and it was being touted as the next great thing in security systems.
Yes, the best thing since the X-16.
Oh,
I was there. I was there on the day I was running security for the dwarf house. The Kondarak. They're nice folks. Yes.
That's who made the deal with House Orion.
Oh, I see. Ah, well, there we are.
Okay, you look confused. Should I start at the beginning?
No. I don't believe that will be necessary. Thank you so much for your generous offer. Does anyone else have any questions? No? Fantastic. How about we go get a broker?
All
Sounds
right.
good to me.
I have secured a temporary lease on a house. So she gives you the address. You can find me there if you need me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Patches leans over to Holler. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Later.
Well, Madame de Galanda, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I enjoy your energy, this passion for life, this inspiration. It will keep me warm on the walk to our velvet griffin. I tell you what.
Well,
I will also remember it for a long time.
we're walking? I thought we got a cart.
Oh, you're right. No, we will use the cart if there's room for me. And I'm about 6'8", and I'm a big boy. Is that yes? Of course, the cart.
so the cart is at her place. It's full of like cleaning supplies, and there's like a carpentry toolkit and a masonry toolkit, and you can just take it any way you like. If you've been in the Mournlands recently, you know that food and water is not safe. So, don't necessarily just hitch a mule to it. You might need to find some
hauler?
other means of hauling that thing in there.
Right.
Yes. So, let's not take this now. It's nice to know where she lives. It looks like a lovely place in this exceptionally ramshackle town. Shall we go have a conversation with ne'er-do-wells?
Oh, please. It's been so long.
Who's Nerd?
He's a friend of mine. I'll introduce you. Right this way, Holler.
All right.
So there is a warehouse where salvage brokers hang out. There are several salvage brokers where that's their full-time job, and they have a long-term letter of marque. they don't go into the Mournlands themselves. They find teams of disposables they send in. You can also get a letter of marque for like one item or a small mission. So sometimes there are people coming through who are just there temporarily. But I assume that's where you're going if you're trying to get this mission.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So when we're in front of the buildings, I assume there's a couple of different brokers and such?
There are 2 brokers working inside right now. One guy is at a table. He's a human male. He has something on his face instead of a nose. It's kind of a metal plate that goes like this, and he's busy checking some papers and writing out some sort of card. There's also another human. She is much bigger than him. She's got a big smile. She has a purple scarf over one shoulder, and she is showing around some aristocrats, showing off some of the things her people have brought back, and they are looking at perhaps making some bids in the upcoming auction.
So
I think the man with the silver nails, I think that person might be in charge here. Or at least a person who could do paperwork and we could get some sort of permission slip from.
yes, well, we should probably... Let's just step outside a moment. I'd like to strategize. So, my friends, anything that we bring out, whoever we sign up with, anything that we bring out, we will have to give over for the Brayland auction, because Brayland is the one that runs this operation. It's a close by kingdom. I'm sure you're very familiar. So, do we want to actually do the work, or shall we perhaps not?
Running an inn is a serious commitment.
It is. But if we are taking 30% of the profits, then we can be in a managerial position, you know. We can just show up and sit at the end of the bar, very cavalier, and say, yes, I own the place. I come in once a week to see how it's going. You know, it's all right, and we can spend the rest of the time hanging out upstairs. But your implications that we would not be doing the jobs that we are being given, I can't. No, it is my duty. It is my duty, sir. It's my duty, Monsieur Patches. It's been told from my house, the Tarashk, that I have to help Madame de Galana, and that is what I am going to do. The implications that we would not is preposterous to me.
Well, there's 2 things we're talking about. And the inn, in a desolated hellscape covered by a moaning gray wall, sounds really lovely to me. I was more talking about the brokers.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't know about that. What do you think?
Oh, I'm all for just talking to whichever one seems more gullible. And if we end up just staying in there for quite some time and we bring nothing out, we've lost nothing, or they'll think we're dead, as many of these salvage teams tend to end up.
So we talked to the guy with the silver nose because he thinks he's fooling everybody with his nose. But we all know he doesn't have a nose.
Your logic is impeccable.
Thank you.
I was thinking perhaps if we were going to have a patron, we might have better luck with the one that looks like they have money.
I don't know how much a silver nose goes for these days.
Not that one. The well-to-do lady.
All right. I enjoy socialization. Let's go speak to this person. Let's find out what they're about.
So before this goes too far, I'll just let you know that she is not going to spend time talking to some non-aristocrats while she has the nobility looking at her stuff. She is there, but she is not available for conversation right this second.
Oh, I see.
So if you're going to spend a lot of time deciding whether you are willing to talk to her, I thought I'd just...
Oh, yeah, we could just speed that along.
Short circuit that.
Well, Maybe I misunderstood. Are they two separate brokers?
Yes, they are two separate brokers.
I see.
There are other tables where there are other brokers at other times. These are two of the full-time brokers.
Well, then I think we'll probably all loiter to pass the time.
Okay.
Does that sound acceptable to everyone? So that we can talk to the well-to-do lady, because it looks like she probably has more money. It looks like she has more money. She probably
Holler's
doesn't, but
content to just stand around and talk until the sun sets and the sun comes up again.
great.
So, at some point, Jenla, the young lady who got sent to look for Channa, she comes in and she sees all of you, and then she goes into the warehouse. If you peer in, you see that she goes over to the guy who had been doing paperwork, and he gives her a card, and she takes it and leaves. She's heading back toward the Grey Beyond.
Sorry, pardon my ignorance. What is it you have there, mistress?
Oh, hi, this is a job for salvage brokers. I'm going to go post it on the salvage board, and then a team of salvage brokers will go do hero stuff, and someday I'm going to have my own team.
Oh, I bet you will. An industrious young lady as such as yourself is marvelous.
We believe in you, and we happen to be such a team that at some point would love to work for you, but in this instance, how about we take that off your hands?
This one? Well, yeah. Then you have to take it into Dre of Shaldor in there. And so you look at the card. It says, salvagers needed for collecting wild flowers.
Shall we?
And Jenla, the little girl, leaves. Well, little girl, 14-year-old.
How much money do we start with? I would like to give her a copper or two.
Sure, you can give her a copper. I don't remember how much was in your...
Okay.
Every starting package has a different amount of gold, but you can give her a copper or two, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep, I'll give her a
smiles.
copper or two. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, yes. Well, shall we? Or would you like to wait to talk to the well-to-do woman?
I don't know. So this card that we've got here. This is the thing we need to get. This is our
this
go
is
ahead
one of the things. Yeah, this is one of the things we need to get. So the thinking was we could either just take this, get a writ, go in, and then do what Jenla wants us to do, or we can wait for the well-to-do lady and possibly get a little bit extra on top. Or at least she might have more money to fuel future expeditions. Instead of having one thing for one specific job, we might be able to be like, hi, we're going to be salvagers for you forever. Does this job have a time limit?
It does not.
Ah, well then...
It has very little information on it, actually. It's like, need wildflowers, go see Dre of Shaldor.
Go see guy. Okay. So... I'm being too clever for my own good. We should go talk to Nosehand.
All right. Sounds good.
Shall we?
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
So the three of you walk up to the table where the guy is. He looks up and Patches, do you have the card in a way that's visible? It's like, that was much faster than I expected. Are you a salvage team?
Well, I believe we are the finest flower pickers you'll find here in Salvation. Which is a clever name, you see, because we're salvagers.
So the name of your salvage team is the finest flower pickers you'll find in Salvation.
No.
What's the name of your salvage team?
That's a fine question. You'll have to give us just a moment. Excuse us. And he turns around, does the same thing, just shoos everybody outside. Well, this is a question that demands thought, because this involves style And as you can see, my name might be Patches, but I do not wear rags.
No, you don't. You're very sharply dressed. I meant to say something earlier.
Appearances are the first thing you say to someone. Dale?
If this is something that you actually care about as players, we could take a break. And then you'd have some time to think about it.
Yeah.
I was just going to put you on
the
on the spot and make you come up with a name. But if you actually want a nice, stylish name, we do have to take a break at some point.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind working it out in character if we do have time.
Let's do that.
How much players? This is something that Jacob cares very deeply about, but too much sometimes, and I recognize that, and it's really not that big of a deal. If you want to call us the Brown Himblebibbles or whatever.
I don't mind. Yeah, but if you wanted to work it out with character, that's cool for me too. Whatever.
All right. Corey?
We do have to take a break on the hour.
Oh, on the hour. Oh, well,
more or less.
All right, no, we should take a break.
We have to take a break sometime before 7. Was what Paul told me right before we started.
Yeah,
Paul?
something like that.
So,
does he exist? Is he outside of this panel? Is he up here? God. Is he over here? Where?
Like break now. Or before 7.
Now would be before 7. Also later would be before 7. Either way is fine.
Thank you, Paul. All right, so we have set this up now. We have to have the conversation in character. You guys have to come up with a team name. Yes. And people have to be able to watch it. Don't
Velvet
take
Griffin.
an hour.
Oh, yes, the Velvet Griffins, perhaps.
And our branding is unified. And people will always know our team's the team that owns the inn.
Ah.
The inn? In the Hellland.
Yeah, the one we own.
Yes, it's good to get the word out. And as you say, there's a synergy between the sort of brand togetherness of it. Sounds good to me. Do you have another suggestion?
No. The Velvet Griffin. Not one scrap of velvet nor griffin between us. That Velvet Griffin, I mean, if we...
Well-dressed Warforged. Why are you wearing clothing? I've been meaning to ask. You have some, rust or damage you're trying to conceal?
Yes.
Sorry to hear that.
So Patches looks down. Patches actually, almost all of his parts in the wood and everything like that look like he's got various bits of every, it's all smoothed out and, looks nice, but he has this weird, where every piece is this weird, almost lightning scar where every, bit of mithril where things should be, and then he's put studded leather armor in that, but has pants on, and the scarf and everything that. Yeah.
That Featherweight drew for your avatar. Yes.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So he does look like patchwork. So he looks down and he's like, yes, I am. Yes. How about, if we manage the Griffin, how about something with riders in the name? So it's not just the Velvet Griffin is going to the Velvet Griffin to Velvet Griffin. I don't know. How about something with riders in the name, yes?
I've never ridden before.
You're going to get in a cart?
Cart riders?
Ooh. Cart riders. Ooh, I like that. The cart riders, or the velvet riders, or the What's the
Rail
other word?
riders. How about rail riders?
Ooh, rail riders. Oh, I like that as well. Rail riders.
Riders of steel?
Steel
Riders of the Iron Horse.
Right. Ooh, I like that. We could ride it roughly. We could be the Rough Riders. We could
Rough Riders.
Oh, I like,
like it.
that. That
Done.
sounds
Yes.
very good.
Done. We are now the Rough Riders.
Hooray!
That was a very
Excellent.
good suggestion, Marcel.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. I know no one has ever used that name before. It'd be
Not
a
once.
good time. Mm-mm. Definitely not twice.
not
in
in
the same
yes.
league.
Not in this world. Well, good.
All right.
We agreed. Fantastic. Whoop. Back inside. We are the Rough Riders.
Ah, thank you. And who's the captain?
Oh. I don't know. See,
All right. So, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, this is an interesting question. You know, in my house, the Thrashk, we our family is set up in a more or less egalitarian society. The idea is that there was one person leading is, well, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that. Unless it is a formality. Would you like a figurehead? We could have a figurehead.
We were splitting everything 3 ways equally.
All right. So here's the thing: if there is some problem with the salvage that you do, and I get called on it because I'm responsible for it with the letter of marque, I need to be able to contact someone. So I need the name of your captain so I can go after the captain. Now, a lot of captains work on multiple teams somehow, or there are different groups. So I need to come to the captain and I need to say, hey, when you brought me the wildflowers and you were working with this team, why did you punch the Duke in the face? Or whatever happened. So then, have context. So I need a captain name.
I think our captain should be Jenla, the flower girl that we got this for. What do you think? I say this to the side list. I think she was a very upstanding young woman. I think she should be our captain.
She did say she wanted her own team.
It would help her with her life goals.
It would. I would agree. Yes, this definitely fits into chaotic good. Let's do it. It's Jenla.
Oh, good.
So she's the one I'm going to be paying when all of this is done?
Well, you didn't mention that part.
Oh, well, I can't give you any actual money, but what I have are supplies and tools and such that you can use to improve wherever you're staying or do some renovations, or I have some defensive emplacements. I have contacts in case you need people to work at wherever you're going. Now, this is very generous of you. I can just give all of this to Jenla.
Well, I don't trust a little girl with emplacements. How do you two like paperwork? He says, bringing out his little notepad and pen.
I'm more for the, walking, strolling through the fields and taking in nature's grandeur. I'm not a very clerical person. I mean clerical not in the god sense, but in the writing sense. How about you, Holler?
I come with excellent references. And I'm a team player.
It seems like I'm the captain. Hi, Patches.
All right. So there's paperwork.
Help me.
The paperwork happens.
Oh, good.
Yep. Good.
So you have a mission. You need to go into the Mournlands. You need 7 different colors of daffodil. It's okay if you press them. They just need to be preserved for alchemical experimentation.
Which colors would those be?
If it's not specified, don't ask.
7 different colors. If there are more than 7 colors, I will give you a bonus. If you don't get all 7, I'll give you a partial payment.
Oh.
Sounds fair to me.
A challenge.
Because I've heard things get a little wild in there. What if it's a flower that changes color? Would that be more money?
I haven't been told that there are any daffodils that change color, but even though that's not one of the things I've been asked to find, I could try to negotiate for something like that.
I like you.
Dreyev Shaldor.
Dreyev Sheldor, I like you very much.
Thank you, Patches. Good luck on your mission.
Thank you. Thank you. This is where you say you like us as well.
I've only just met you.
And I've only just met you, and now we know who's the more generous of the two. Shall we go, Rough Riders?
I suppose so. And I lean over to Dre everything. I like you very much. I just want you to know that. I follow.
Generous.
The nose isn't fooling anyone.
Not so generous. And we leave.
All right. So, I'm going to get you into the Mournlands, and then we're going to take our break.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. So, you leave this area. I assume you go grab the cart, and somehow, in some lengthy debating process, you decide which one of you will be hauling the cart.
Mm-hmm.
And
100%.
And then you head to the Gray. So you get there, it's like 200 feet straight up of thick, roiling, dark gray mist. There are screaming faces in it. Some of them are normal sized. Some of them are like 50 feet high, and they're just coming right out of the mist, and then they disappear. And you can see that there are wizards made of mist sort of forming and throwing lightning bolts and dissolving. And there's this massive leg that comes down, some sort of construct, crushing things beneath it. None of this is making any sound. Even the lightning bolts that get thrown where the electricity crackles across the mist makes no noise at all. The good news is that walking into the mist doesn't make non-meat brains have many various problems. And most of you have non-meat brains. So this is going to be great.
For 2 out of 3 of us.
Yes. I think I need a marching order for this.
In what sense?
Well, which order we're going in.
Oh, I see.
I'm pulling the cart, and I assume the other two are on the cart.
Oh, that works for me.
Mm-hmm. I provided you don't mind, and that's not rude. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well, that answers the question about meat brains getting lost inside the mist. When you enter the mist, you have almost no visibility. It's very, very thick, and like much thicker than fog. Like this is a thick gray. I mean, I've seen artificial fog that is thick like this. This is stage fog. Also, you
smell.
Pardon me.
Oh, sorry. Does it have that same smell?
I think that as Warforged, you are a Nosmic.
Yeah.
True.
So
to Marcel, it smells
Yes.
like an old laser tag place.
I was just about to say it's a 8-year-old's birthday party.
All right. So what I need now from Meat Brains is called a saving throw. So
Certainly.
the kind of saving throw that you're going to do is a charisma saving throw. So
Sure.
you're going to roll your 20-sided die and add your charisma modifier.
Certainly. I rolled a 6, and I have a 0 for my modifier, so just a 6.
All right. So you are hallucinating. Do you want some help with that, or is that enough information?
I think I'm all right with that. Just tell me what sort of high it is. Is it the good times or is it the bad times? From the screaming faces in the great gray wall of smoke, I'm guessing it's not a good time. But I can deal with that. So yes, I suppose we Holler goes in first, and Marcel leans back in his cart seat and goes, "All right, here we go. Buckle up. Here we go." takes a deep, holds his breath for as long as he can. Takes a deep breath and goes, "Oh, the children! They're running around with their guns, the laser guns! Oh no! Oh no! I'm having backflashes from all the community theater productions of all musicals I have ever seen coming back into my brain again." And so
Hey, I'm hearing a lot of noise back there. Patches, do you think you could hold his hand or something? Comfort him a little?
Absolutely.
You cannot hear each other.
Oh, right, because it's silent.
Yes,
Oh,
but
cool.
Patches, you can see that he's freaking out.
And holding like Odysseus trying to tie himself to the mast with the sirens. He is just trying to fighting it, but still the images are flying from his brain and just looking at Patches going, "Help!" No, it is. I can read your little sign, and I'm just going. Very expressive, talking with my hands. Nothing can be heard. Tries writhing in the cart. It's not real. I know it's not real, but it certainly feels like it. Having a bad time, just convulsing in all sorts of ways. This is hell. And how long does this last? Is this my life now? Is this real life? Flowers. Yeah, I read on your pad. Yes. Oh, okay, good. Concentrate on the flowers. The many possible colors of the daffodils. This yellow, this off yellow, this little brighter yellow, this darker yellow, this maybe rotting a little bit, and it's kind of orange. I'm sure there are others. Oh, I think they come in white as well. Perhaps. Just trying to calm himself down with those thoughts. Yes, I read your pad again. Pea yellow. This is true. And the orange, that is a spectrum in itself. If you don't drink a lot of water, I'll tell you what. But anyway, yes, this is what is happening to him. Holler yellow. Holler is also yellow. This is actually distracting him a little bit from the horrible things. Now he's going to go through the many different myriad shades of yellows that he knows. Is actually having a calming effect, perhaps.
Okay,
how long does it last?
I think that's going to work with Patch's help. You're getting through this. The wall so the wall changes width a lot. Sometimes it's like 5 feet thick. Sometimes it's 5 miles thick. Why don't we say it's several hundred feet thick today? And Holler pulls you out. It takes a little while, but this has taken a little while. And Holler looks like she could hoof it if she needs to. So you get out of the wall, and now you are inside the Mournlands, where things are strange. They're familiar, but they're mutated. It's, of course, dark. So imagine as cloudy as it can get, because there's thick cloud between you and the sun right now. It was the middle of the day when you were at the Gray Beyond, and it's taken like an hour since then. So it's like early afternoon. And it's looking, I'm guessing, evening-ish. And you are out of the mist wall. You are into the Mournlands. A 6-winged mosquito bird flies by, and we will take our break.
Thank you.
Welcome back. This is the second half of episode 1 of Best of Intentions. We are inside the Mournlands, and the Rough Riders need to figure out what they're doing next.
Well, I mean, if you don't mind, I actually had a couple of questions for my fellow players as we're trundling along. Is that cool with everybody?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Marcel is over here just coming down from that high.
Yeah.
That hallucinatory. Just the images are fading from his eyes, and he's going, Jaune, light Jaune, good Jaune, bad Jaune, Jaune down. just muttering to himself, trying to come down.
Yeah, you just have to speak up over the sound of the road, the wheels, you know.
I shall endeavor to do so, because, well, now that we're here, if by dint of being here at all, we're putting our lives in each other's hands, and I suppose my question would be, why are you here?
Oh, well, I'm here because my family from the house de Tharash told me to come here and do whatever Madame de Galanda wanted me to. And that is enough reason for me.
I admire that. I don't know what it's like to have a family, and I'm not saying that to evoke any pity. It's just, I don't know what it's like to have had any family. I don't actually remember much past the day of mourning 4 years back. I've been making my own way. But that's good. It's heartening to know that you have loyalty.
Absolument. Without my family, well, I wouldn't know what to do. They have helped me so much, and I helped them in return. This is the thing I find meaning and purpose in. This is why I'm here. And having a family, I mean, it does have its ups and downs. I could tell you stories, let me tell you, but not now. Maybe some other time.
I would love to hear them. I'm all about stories, as a matter of fact. And how about you, my big friend? Well, you're both my big friends. You're both very large.
Yeah, geez, like Marcel's. You said like 8 feet tall, like 9 feet tall.
Sorry, no,
giant.
Marcel is 6'8". He's a half orc, so he is a big boy. He is 300 pounds. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a beef boy right there.
How big is Holler?
I was thinking like 6'4".
Oh yeah.
Well, solidly tall, but not
true.
Giant. Not another size category up.
I bet Marcel is built more like a basketball player, though. He's like in the way we used to make fun of Bill for being fat, and when he was just very tall, and so sort of he's got that lean muscle, those sort of long muscles, that sort of thing. Yeah,
I'd imagine Holler's built like a hauler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you take like an oxen and make it bipedal.
and a magical construct. And there you have Holler. Oh, we got to get you some horns so you can like ram people.
That's scary. Yeah. Looks like Big Dog. So as to your question, I find having some purpose in life helps me pass the time. Got to keep my hands busy. But don't be too worried about anything bad happening to you on this trip. Like, I'll make sure nothing gets to you.
What kind of weapons does Holler have strapped to them?
A flail.
A flail? A flail.
A flail.
A shield?
No.
Is it a two-handed flail?
No.
Terrific.
Also got a dagger somewhere, but yeah.
Holler looks like a weapon unto themselves. I mean,
it's true.
If you could stick tie a butter knife on the end of a nuclear warhead, it's still going to do a lot of damage.
It's pretty much just ornamentation at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Holler. I absolutely believe you. I do not think you have one duplicitous part to you. Duplicitous means lying.
Thank you. No, I was
You're
curious about your answer to your question.
Yeah, d'accord. Yes. Why are you here, my friend?
I owe a friend a favor.
I see.
It's as simple as that. I'm paying a debt.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. Well, I'm sure we will have many spoils of our adventures that which you can pay with that. Definitely.
Yes.
I mean,
also,
this beer tap alone.
I'm paying a debt, and I need to know. This was my home, as I've been told. I need to know what happened here, and I can't do that from out there. Stories. I'm here for the stories. And debt. Stories and debt. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm made of. Just stories and
Well,
debt.
maybe the Rough Riders Inn will be very successful, and then you'll have so much money you can pay back your debts, and we'll attract some stories.
It's not that kind of debt, but I will not say no to the money. How are we going to make money here? And he, like, sweeps his arm to the desolate up landscape.
Oh, well, you see this, my friend, this is what we call potential. And we are getting in on the ground floor. I'm sure, the dwarves will come through and there will be other business. There are people that will be looking for that sort of weird psychedelic experience I had, and they're going to need a place to calm down. We are going to make the best cool out in. So it's going to be legendary, my friend. I think I have a very good feeling about this. I'll tell you what.
How about we rename the inn? Or at least 90% of it. I'm not too keen on the Velvet Griffin. How about you?
I thought we renamed it Rough Riders.
That's true. You did. You did just say the Rough Riders Inn. But I thought we were going to try to not name ourselves and the inn the same thing.
I thought we agreed that made our branding very solid and made us, save some money on the marketing. Only got to print one set of, like, pamphlets or business cards or...
You're right. And
posters.
Because you've done most of the thinking, allow me to bear the... I'll just pass her, like, a gold coin. There. Or no, a silver. Silver. What am I doing? A silver. There. For the marketing.
For the marketing! Oh!
And then we just keep going on.
Sure.
All right, so you're following the temporary rail line north that got put in for the expo. Now, it's called a rail line, but there are no rails because the way that trains work in this world is the train cars have a circle of lightning around them that's actually a captured elemental. And they whoosh along. So I suppose you could think of them like a maglev. If there's no actual contact between the rail cars and anything on the ground, they follow a series of pyramids that guide the elementals. I'm sure Patches, with his ties to House Orion, could be more technical about that, but that's basically what the average person would know about how the rails work. The pyramids have been roughed up more than you would expect in 4 years of normal wear, but it's very easy to follow the track. And after you've gone for several miles, I would say over the course of those several miles, there was a cloud of bugs that you had to scare away. And there was maybe a giant winged thing that you hid from. And you saw a group of, like a war band of constructs in the distance. That's known that there's a warforged out here called the Lord of Blades, who's trying to kill everybody who doesn't work for him. So, you could just hide from them rather than have any sort of confrontation on your way to your base of operations, which you reach. So, the Velvet Griffin still has a sign. Sorry, there is a sign that says the Velvet Griffin. And it is hanging from just one of the two connectors that held it up. So this is it's an inn. It's built into the side of a hill, but instead of being halfling proportioned, a warforged or half-orc could easily walk in. You each have, I believe, a ring of keys. And if you like, you can try one of those keys in the front door. It's not needed because the door is open, but if it would give you joy to play with the lock, you can do that. And I'll just tell you now, it will work because these are the correct keys.
I'm glad that mystery has been pre-solved.
Yes.
And Marcel does just that. He goes, oh, and so he takes out his keys. He likes his keys. He goes over, sticks it in, and goes, click. Ah, look, that works. It's the right place.
Oh, let me. And Holler comes in there and like pushes Marcel aside and doesn't take Marcel's keys out, just plays with Marcel's keys in the lock. It's like, ah.
Wonderful. Good.
While that's happening,
yes,
I'm going to sneak in a window and make sure that whoever opened the door isn't inside.
All right. So there are, in fact, glazed windows. They are caked in dirt and mud. Are you trying to jimmy one open? What are you? Are you looking for a broken one? What's your plan here?
I would like to look for a broken one and see if I can see inside while these two very large and very intimidating creatures are at the front in the open door, literally playing with keys.
Okay. So, I think you find a broken window. It's like the third one along, and it's looking into what was clearly a bar. And there is a lot of debris in there. There clearly once were stools around the bar. You can tell that because there are some broken remnants of stools. There are one or two tables that have been smashed up. There are a couple of broken bottles, but basically this place has been thoroughly looted. There are also some recent burn marks on some things. There is mud that has blown in from bad weather. There is, I mean, this has been abandoned for 4 years in the Mournlands.
There's not like a monster in the middle of it that is watching these two play with keys and about to attack. So long as the place is generally empty of anything hostile, I will head back around to the front.
All right. You can't see a monster through the broken window, but you also can't see the front area. So you head around back to the front. I'll get you a map of the inn later if you like.
Okay.
Because there is a map of this.
You had said something very exciting to me personally, Jacob, in placements, which indicates to me building and base things, and that's personally very exciting. So a map would be wonderful later. Yes. He said, barely containing his joy.
The Oracle of War campaign allows you to have a base of operations, and when you do, so there are 4 different kinds of games. 2 of them don't give you gold. They give you salvage points. That's what you're getting tonight. And salvage points can only be used to improve your base, either with defensive measures or with things that can help you. Like maybe you want a forge to maintain the Warforged and make better, bigger weapons. Or maybe you want... Anyway, there are a lot of options that you can use for improving your base in this campaign. But we don't need to do any of that right now. There is no one in sort of the reception room inside the front door.
I'm sorry, I blacked out. All right. I'm going to sneak in and I just pretty much want to sneak in and do a sweep of the place, make sure that nobody's going to attack my friends.
Great. So you walk in, there's sort of a ruined podium where someone would have seated you perhaps, or checked you in, or told you where to reach. You go past that into sort of a larger area. This does lead into the bar where you were looking into earlier, but off to one side there is also a private meeting room. The door to this private meeting room has been burned off, and a thing comes out of this private meeting room. Now, this thing is an acid bug, but that's actually a misnomer because it is not acid-based, neither is it a bug. So it might sound much scarier than it really is. Also, this thing is like smaller than a cat. So it's not some great big, like there are some really huge monsters in the Mournlands. And this nest of acid bugs is not one of those really huge monsters. And I see that you wanted to do a combat type motion. So, for those of you who are perhaps new to Dungeons and Dragons, when combat type actions are happening, we do them in what's called initiative order. So we're going to roll our initiative. And we do that by rolling our d20 and adding our dexterity modifier plus any specific modifiers we might have for initiative. For example, Marcel does not have any such modifiers. So he would just roll his d20 and add his dexterity modifier.
And I've done that, and I have a cumulative 9.
Marcel has a cumulative 9. All right. And how about Haller?
10.
10. Lovely. And Patches?
I have a deciduous 7. I'm sorry, I thought we were doing cloud types. I will take 1 of 3 laughing. I will consider that a victory.
I thought you were being serious.
I like you so much, Andy.
Thanks, man.
All right. So I have set up the initiative now just because of what's going on here. I really need a second monitor. I'm not going to be able to see you while I'm running combat. So if I ask you a question and you nod your head, I won't hear you nodding your head.
And for the sake of people listening as a podcast, we will make sure to be vocal. Try and stop us.
All right. So the acid bugs get to go first. Now, there's only actually one of them that is visible through the door. The rest are all still back in the nest. Let me pull up my acid bug stat block. All right, so I think I'm going to start by breathing fire. So
good.
Yeah. It's not a very big fire, but it's a thing I can do, and I'm gonna. So all of you who are in that room, which is Patches and nobody else, you may, if you wish, attempt a dexterity saving throw to reduce the amount of fire damage that you're taking.
Okay. Good. Let me see. I want to make sure that... Nope, that's right. I'm level 1. I don't have nothing.
You might have, you might be proficient.
Oh, I am proficient. Not that matters that much. 10 for me.
Alas, 10 is insufficient. So, please have 5 points of fire damage.
I thank you, sir. I do not want another.
As you wish.
Was that just me, or was that a cone?
It was more of a... Yeah, it was a cone.
It was a cone.
Yeah,
so everybody has to make...
But everyone else is still outside.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And they don't even know that there's anything going on in there.
I think the screaming will alert them.
Okay. So there's another acid bug that comes scuttling out of the meeting room. Its pincers are on the small side, but its big tail is looping up back. Whatever this is now, it probably started as some form of scorpion. So I think if we called them fire scorpions, that would be a much better descriptor than acid bugs. But that's not their name. Their name is acid bug.
That would be our
Anyway.
second game with odd scorpions. That'd be nice. Fire scorpions.
So Holler, you hear some screaming from inside. Is that relevant to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, we're out in the moorland. Anything could be happening.
It's fire. Fire is happening.
Someone might need something carried. Yeah, it could be a call for help. So yeah, gonna, I guess, drop the keys, identify the source of the noise, rush in, get my flail ready, and bash the one that has made it furthest out. I assume we're close enough to make it there and attack. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So, fire Scorpionox number 1.
One of my favorite
Getting
Transformers.
the flail to the face.
Okay, so the one that has already breathed.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a 7 to hit.
7?
Yeah.
Well, so as perhaps you have surmised, 7 is not a hit. But I expect you make a nice big dent with your flail in your floor, near the acid bug.
I think I'd actually like to use the inspiration to reroll that because that was pretty sad.
As you wish.
14.
14 is much better.
Excellent.
Okay, now, would you like to roll some damage?
I would love to.
Okay.
I'm glad you said yes.
Honestly, I suspect even if she opted to take minimum damage, like these are really dangerous things that are super squishy. But I think we're showing Andy how the game works. Really, you should be rolling damage here.
Yeah. So D8 plus 3 is 6, and so I go splat
Yes,
right onto the acid bug, the stink monster.
Yes,
Little shelly, nasty man.
that is it. Many more hit points than it has, so it is squished. Which
That's what I'm going to call these things from now on. Shelly Nasty Man.
So, Marcel,
Yes.
are you thinking you might want to get involved here?
Absolument. I hear the fire and the screaming, and I see Holler rush away, bearing their flail, and I think, it's the game is afoot. And I make sure to put the keys in a safe pocket in my vest. I pull out my 2 short swords, and I run in with my lengthy strides. And I imagine I can pretty much assess this. The situation seems self-evident. We're fighting these fire scorpion things, and I go
Shelly
up.
Nasty Mans.
Yeah, thank you. And so I roll to attack, and I've got here that I've got 2 short swords, and I get to attack twice each round, one with each of the swords. So I would like to attack whatever bug is still standing.
There is one bug still standing. I think with you putting away the keys and moving them out, you have one sword out, and the other one is getting caught, and you'll get it out next round.
That's fair. Well, then this one will be the one in my dominant hand that I get +2 to. So I'll roll the attack roll first.
Yes, please.
And that is an 8 with +4 to hit. So that's 12.
12 is enough.
12 is enough. Excellent. And then I roll a d6 +2. And that is a cumulative, 8 max damage with that one short sword. I get the speed coming in from the hallway.
All right, so you have squished this thing nicely. There is still some sound coming from inside the meeting room, but perhaps that's just falling debris or something. You may ignore it if you wish. It's up to Patches, though, because it's Patches' turn.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
There is some sound coming from the meeting room, but all the bugs out here are dead. There are no living acid bugs in this room.
I will hobble over to the entrance of the meeting room and kind of poke my head around the corner with the light crossbow I have.
All right. So, do you want to shoot at acid bug number 3 or acid bug number 4?
First, I would like to say, there's more in here!
Zoot!
Yep. And I will, whichever one seems to be closer and or more fire-rific.
Well, since there's a tie on the second thing, we'll go with number 3 because it's closer.
Fantastic. I would like to note that I am shooting from at least partial cover.
Okay.
Thank you. And I shall take a shot. Actions. Yes, 19.
19 will absolutely hit.
Marvelous. And I did 9 damage.
All right. So you have skewered this thing.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Which brings us to the acid bugs. So I already breathed fire. I want to use a stinger this time. This one is going to scuttle over and try to insert the tip of its stinger into some kind of maybe a crack between some of your joined bits. Let's see how it can do.
You said you. Who does that mean?
Well, there's only one person sticking a head into the meeting room. And
Hauler, you shouldn't have done that.
So, how's a 14?
Not good enough.
Okay. Lovely. How easy was this? You guys are doing great. See, Andy, combat in D&D isn't really all that exciting because it's super easy and hardly dangerous.
I'm going to get a big sack and I'm going to fill it with healing potions because we have no healing in this party.
I'm glad you noticed.
It's just going to be a big tub of delicious red goo, and it's going to be for us forever.
Don't Rangers get healing at level 2?
It seems like that's up their alley, but I'll see if I may decide not to do that.
All right. Well, we'll
Do we have healing now?
Yes.
No. And who's hurt? Oh, it's old Patches. Big tub of healing potion.
So it's Hauler's turn. Hauler, you took care of all the acid bugs in this room.
But I've heard there's more in the other room, so I'm going to rush over there.
Okay.
Help.
Wish the next one, because that's really fun to do.
Okay, well, how does that
the
work
way
out for you?
the juices just flow in every direction. Really satisfying crunch. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Flail number 4. 23. And 6 damage.
Well, I believe we are out of combat.
Hooray! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I don't see any more. What do I see? You said there was a nest?
Yeah,
Are there
there's
eggies?
sort of there's weird goop that might be eggies from the acid bugs.
I'm just going to step on it to make sure.
Okay. So you are charged with cleaning this area, and your cart does have cleaning materials in it. So if you say you clean this up, I can take your word for that. Unless some of you want to
like
secretly...
a 4-year-old with waders on through.
Okay.
Through the
Now,
mush.
one option would be, if you like, you could take some of these acid bug eggs and maybe store them inside, well, not for Marcel, but those of you who have an artificial body, you have like little cracks and crannies and nooks. If you wanted to nurture some of these acid bug eggs, this is an opportunity. I know that I kind of rushed in and said, oh, well, you can clean it all up. But then I realized I was removing your agency. So I just want to make sure that you have these opportunities.
One, how dare you? And two, who do you think you are? That's disgusting.
I mean, okay, I should consult with everyone before I go stompy on all these eggs.
Kill them. Don't. This is a full. You please.
What if you want some
Please.
young? I don't know
Corey,
if you want
please,
children.
Please, Corey, right here. End them, please.
Yeah. The crossbow one, that one's yours to clean out, Patches. I'm only cleaning up my own messes here.
Yes, of course. I hobble over, lightly on fire. Let me. And then I take out my crossbow bolt and like shake it off a little bit and replace it in the quiver.
Oh, you're still on fire?
Lightly.
I'm just gonna scoop up some of the goo and
Don't
pat
you dare!
the fire out.
Nope.
I'm helping.
No. I will roll. But I will spend
You
inspiration.
can roll? Yeah,
I
stop,
will
drop,
roll
and roll
whatever the.
right in this room.
I'll pat it out. That's fine. Patches will take care of Patches. Pat. Look, I've done so. I'm going to go change the sign, and then I hand them both mops. You two enjoy.
I was thinking the piss dandelion.
Oh, that's right! I forgot about that one. Thank you.
Right? It's a reference just for us. Everyone's gonna ask about the story. Why is the inn called the piss dandelion? We can tell them about the story of how we got the inn.
You know what? I think that's a fine idea. How about everybody with calligrapher's tools and the ability to spell weighs in? Anyone else? No. Amazing. And then I go and take the sign down and start using my calligraphy tools to change it.
Okay. I know you
I'm
talked
pouting
about
outside.
what you were going to change it to, but honestly, I didn't track the conversation.
We haven't agreed on a name.
Okay, so in that case, everyone...
I'm going to at least just scratch everything out, and we'll agree on a name later. That's not the pissed daffodil.
So you're just getting rid of the name. You've taken down the sign. You're not putting in a new name?
Mm-hmm. Not yet.
Okay.
I would like to see that.
I just need something to do that's not cleaning or being on fire.
I would like to see. Is there any way that maybe I can roll because we're in this desolate waste.
Yes.
And there isn't a lot of food around.
Right.
Could I?
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I would like to maybe roll some sort of survival check to see if any of these eggs are perhaps a Mornland delicacy that we shouldn't let go to waste.
Why?
There could be some good eating in this. We should, it goes maybe to a little corner where Holler didn't get it. And this could be the escargot of the caviar of the Mornland. We don't know yet.
I'm glad I don't eat.
Yeah, you're outside.
I have...
You should have said something before I stomped them all.
But maybe there's some eating in the acid bug carapaces.
Oh, wait, yes, we could look at that. Maybe we'll roast carapace for tonight for Marcel, who has a stomach.
Yes. So, please make a survival check. Would you like me to roll it so that you don't know if you rolled well or not? It's up to you.
Sure. Yeah. But I would like to know because I think he's a ranger and he's also a scavenger, so I think he would probably know if by looking at it. So for that I would roll. I've got a survival. Okay, so I've got a 4, and I rolled a 12 plus 4 is 16.
And when you roll survival checks, not just for tracking, but anytime you roll survival, because of your character's intuition, your hunter's intuition, you can also roll a d4.
Oh, marvelous. Okay, well, let's take that 16 and let's add a 4 to it, a 20.
20. All right. Now, normally the stuff that's in the Mournlands is straight up untrustworthy, and you can't know whether you can eat it or not. This is kind of also true of the water, but you took the Mournland scavenger background that lets you. So for you, your survival skill just works normally inside the Mournlands, and you know precisely how to cook this up to make it delicious. Probably involves a lot of melted butter, because a lot of things are delicious with a lot of melted butter. And more importantly, safe.
Excellent. Good. And Marcel said, no, there's still good eating on this one. And I pick it up and I shuffle it towards what I imagine to be the kitchen.
Okay. And I see Jacob's hand.
I am unclear. Andy, how much have you played with Dale?
Oh, enough to know that he'll stab me in the back as soon as look at me. But I trust. No, and I mean that in a loving way.
No, you're right. You are right. You are absolutely correct.
But I have never known him to lie to me, and
he will never lie.
Right.
He will never lie. I just wanted to ask so that I know we're on the same page. That's all.
You know what? Letting Dale do a secret role that he hides from you is a perfect opportunity for some developing story events.
I enjoy how you think, Corey. As wrong as it may be, I enjoy it.
Well, I love you all. So,
we love you too, Dale.
Love you too, Dale. I just love you differently.
That's completely fair. Andy and I have played Toon together. That's the same as like a D&D game, right?
Oh yeah. People just bounce back. It's totally cool.
So, a week from now, the dwarfs are going to come by.
Okay.
How much person time do you want to spend on that week?
I am totally fine kind of fast forwarding it, so long as we kind of all agree sort of what happens and we all clean up and things like that.
Same.
Like, if we decide what happens. Is everybody cool with that?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Just got to focus on cleaning and getting the place up to snuff and coming up with a name.
I think there
Very
were
important.
I think there were some other things living in there, but none of them required dice rolls. Like you have to clear out a bunch of different kinds of things. The acid bugs were the things that were an actual threat. So you take care of that. The place has been thoroughly looted and trashed. But
so there wouldn't be any spare window panes or anything in the cellar to replace any of the broken windows?
That is correct.
Okay. I will make a list of everything that we will need when we go back out to come back in to fix this place up.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, and I think all of our characters are affable enough to all get along with each other.
I think so. In a sort of situation comedy way.
Yep. Also, if during these weeks I have 5 rations to last 5 days, so if you need them, Marcel, I'm just going to give them to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate that. And I do have my own rations, but if you're not going to use them, I'll take them off your hands.
I can't
certainly.
use them.
Well, then I say, oh, thank you very much, Monsieur. I will fry these up in a good way. I still have some bug juice left, and I imagine he's done the kitchen up very nicely, as much as can be. You know, he's cleaned everything's mostly clean, and he's organized things, even the broken things. He's done a good mise en place to make sure everything is in its place.
Yep, got the chimney cleared out so you can actually get fire going in the stove, and yeah. You spend some time, you have the tools, it just takes elbow grease and you put it in. Anything else I should know? before the dwarfs go past.
It's going to be a very humorous moment with Holler talking to a centipede, being like, "You ain't paying rent, hit the streets."
Just walking back, like past in the background with Patches. I like the way you think. Good initiative. Good initiative.
Are we supposed to make this in a place that the dwarves can stop at and stay? Should we make it like that?
The dwarfs will not be stopping here and staying. The dwarfs are going to. They're on a mission.
Yeah. We will have to track them and follow them.
Right. Okay.
What if I put our advertising budget towards making free dwarven ale signs?
Ooh.
I mean, you can try to entice them in, but Andy's question was, are we supposed to? And that was not the mission you were given, which is the answer that I can give.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
The mission we were given were to follow them, find out how they get into the dome, get those 2 items.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Please don't write signs that say free dwarven ale. We cannot write checks that our inn can't cash.
Free dwarven ale tomorrow.
Once you have that beer prototype.
Right, yes.
It's just a beer tap.
That's a beer tap. That literally may be a magic item that you can just be like and just make beer. All right, nice. So I think that's good. That's what we do for the week.
All right. So there are 4 dwarfs. They are marching north toward the expo site. They have large backpacks. What do they see? Like, they're following the track. Oh, Jacob.
Sorry. Something that we probably should have done within the week is Patches and Marcel, being the scouty types, would have like done the whole spiral and kind of like gotten a general map of the area. Patches is drawn maps and all sorts of things so that we know the general lay of the land out to like, I would imagine 5 kilometers.
Okay. I would say you're probably about 10K north of Salvation. So that's all reasonable.
Yep. Like to know the lay of the land.
I don't think you're 5 kilometers from the gray, like from the wall.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've got a week. We can.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We can. Yeah, we'll just map everything out. Because you said placements, and I love tower defense games, so I need to know where we're going to put them. Not that that's all I've been thinking about pretty much this whole time. Right? Bases? Great. Awesome. Dwarves?
Yes. So the 4 dwarfs are marching north. Marcel, one of the dwarfs worked at the site. Her name is Anandi de Kundarak. Now, it's up to you whether you just sort of recognize her or if you had some sort of relationship with her. Whatever you think would be the most interesting.
That is a good question. I feel like they would have been, maybe they were good work friends. Maybe got to know her on the expo floor or when that was happening, and we sort of really hit it off. We hadn't met each other before, but it's that sort of bond through work and maybe some stressful times that sort of is like, I know that person. I know we at least had 3 good conversations. I remember what your favorite flavor of dwarven beer is. I know that person.
The expo was it was supposed to last a month. It launched a couple days after the first Warforged Colossus marched into battle. And on day 1, they're like, hey, we've made a Warforged Colossus that's 200 feet tall. But the sneak attacks all happened before that. It was going to last a month. It didn't get to the end of the expo when the day of mourning happened. So you would have had maybe a few weeks of getting to know her.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay. So she's one of the 4 dwarfs.
Oh, interesting. And I wish, as they're coming along, where are we situated? Would be.
Oh, that was my next
watching...
question. Yes.
Oh, I see. What would be most if this looks like a place that should be avoided because it may be infested with acid bugs? Maybe our best scouting position would be from the building, undercover, looking through broken windows and things. What do you say? Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then we're up there, and I turn to Patches and Olair, and I say, "Oh, that one right down there. That is Anandi Gunandarak. I worked with her at the expo. Why is she here? Maybe she is their guide. No, maybe she is here to show them the way and to give them information about their mission."
I would imagine so. Yes.
Mm.
I mean, if possible, I would like to just follow them in and very stealthily obtain the items we need. I don't want to get into conflict with them, especially if you have a prior relationship. But I think you probably have the right of it, Marcel.
Indeed. I'd rather not kill people if I don't have to. But
I absolutely agree. I'm glad we're on the same page. Hauler?
When are we picking flowers?
All right! Oh, I forgot about the flowers! Oh, no. Well, hopefully we can get them on the way back. Or maybe we had some, because we were scoping around.
Yeah, we were actually, doing the, Can we just say we did that in that
It's
week?
easy to
while
find
we were
4
scouting?
different colors. You find lots and lots and lots of 4 different colors.
4 different colors. Okay, what is it?
Can I spend my inspiration to roll for all of them?
Okay.
Cool.
How's I would say either a survival or a nature.
Hey, Andy, would you like to have my inspiration so you can roll a survival check?
I would be happy to.
Great.
Where'd
I
my
have
D20
it.
go?
You have it better.
Oh, thank you very much. So, rolling for survival. All right. Let's see here. That's a 14 plus 4 is an 18.
Uh-huh. Do you know what I'm going to say next?
Roll again. For
So,
no, wait. Oh no, yes, plus 4 with plus a D4.
Hunter's intuition gives you a D4.
Excellent. Well, then that is a
Rangers
2, so
are
that is a
awesome.
20.
20 is your target number.
Mhm.
That means you
Wow.
don't have to spend the inspiration.
Incredible. Okay, well then I give that inspiration back to Patches.
Well, thank you very much. I shall happily take that inspiration. Which
All right.
And
yes.
So
does-
you go ahead.
we have all the flowers, is that right?
That's
Excellent. Well, then I show. Is it? Oh, there, look! And then I go to like a falling down bookcase, and I take out a big, thick book that's sort of falling apart at the binding. Observe, and I look through, and I show the quick, carefully pressed within the book. You see here. You see, this is a piece yellow one, and this is which is some purple and some white, and I see. Are they beautiful?
Wow, I was not paying attention at all. I can't believe you two did that during the week while I was cleaning up. So what are we doing with these dwarves? We just follow them? Can we team up or whatever? We can just talk to them. Like, we don't gotta fight them, right?
True.
Perhaps that's the name of the inn.
We
The
don't gotta
Tale of
fight them,
Flowers.
right?
Nope. That's not what I was saying at all. Nope.
Work together.
I was
Dwarves.
No, not that one. No,
You
did
already
want to
said no
keep
to
guessing?
piss Daisy. Whatever.
I advised against it. To be clear, no. Did you want to keep guessing? Please go ahead, Oliver. What was I going to say?
I forgot what I said, so I have no idea what you're going to say.
Well, how about based on this lovely thing that Marcel has put forth? Why don't we call the inn the Tale of Flowers? For the flowers are in the book. It is our first official mission together.
None of us have a flower tail, though.
No, tale
Because am I
like
gonna
a
have to
story.
wear
Tale
a
like a
flower
story
tail?
because it's a
Like-
book.
Weave
Tail.
it together.
Not like a rat king of flowers, Holler. Because it's a book. And then he like grabs the book because it's a book.
Flower book.
Nope. It's going to be Tale of Flowers. I have the calligraphy equipment. That's what we're doing. Marcel, do you agree?
Oh, it sounds marvelous to me. Yes,
Majority
of course.
rules. Fantastic.
Seems complicated.
I'm a complicated person. Look at all the different colors I am.
Oh, I agree.
Tale of
Yes,
Flowers.
I never
That's the name
thought
of
of
the
it that way before.
We're going to make your two more colors, black and blue.
So I'm assuming you're letting the dwarfs get out of sight. I'm
No,
assuming that's deliberate?
this isn't happening with this was an interstitial during the week when we got the flowers. Let's go follow the dwarves.
Yes.
The plot's
right.
getting away.
Well, I mean, you have
We're
a
watching.
tracker.
We're watching the dwarves. We're
Yeah.
gonna follow the
Yeah.
dwarves once
Yes.
they move along.
So,
Yes.
Marcel, you
Oui.
can do magic through your dragon mark.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, you have something called Hunter's Mark, which I don't think means an actual physical mark. I think it's more like the way you would mark an opponent in a soccer game.
Okay.
And so you choose someone and you mark them, and then that helps you this following them or tracking them. The dwarfs can see better than humans in the dark. I don't remember if Warforged have dark vision. Do you?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Dark vision for who? For Warforged?
Warforged.
No. Warforged
Okay.
do not have dark vision.
All right. So the dwarfs in the dim light will be able to see you before you see them. So if you are wanting to mark them from the window, you can let them get out of sight and then follow them.
Okay.
I say this as because this is a thing you have done. You are a tracker. You would traipse through the grasslands, going after people. This is the thing you're good at, not the thinking up of names and other thinking things.
True. And I do, according to this, I do have dark vision as well.
Yes, you have. I knew that. I just wasn't
Oh, I
sure if
see.
the Warforged did.
Nope.
Oh, I see.
Nope.
I see.
That was not one of the things they decided to build us with.
Yep. No, just resistance to sleep, poison, disease.
Yeah, I was going to show that off with the acid bug when it inserted its tail in you and tried to poison you, but I didn't get to.
I'm fine that didn't happen.
Fair enough. All right.
Excellent.
So, Marcel, do you want to use the Hunter's Mark thing?
Oh, yes, I will be a fool not to. And I think I should place this Hunter's Mark specifically on Anandi Gundarak.
Sure. So this means that you automatically get advantage to follow her.
Excellent.
So, and that would be done with survival, which you remember gives you your hunter's intuition. So you can easily let these guys get far away in the dim light, out of sight, and still have a very good chance of following them.
Sure, sounds good.
And
I
advantage
see
means
Corey's
you
hand.
roll 2d20s and pick the top one?
Yes. Technically, advantage means you have to roll them simultaneously, which is why my use of inspiration counts as a house rule, because I let you roll them one after the other. Because you're using up inspiration. Yes, Jacob.
Also, just to remind my fellow players, there's this thing called hero points that we have for this game. Because we
Yes.
seem to be getting into important stuff, and they don't roll over to the next game. We might as well burn them.
Mhm.
Is that correct, Dale? Do I have that right?
Yeah.
You
they
have that
reset.
right. I will give you
Excellent.
a hero point at the beginning of each session. And you
Marvelous.
don't get to keep it from one game to the next.
Okay. And do we have
So-
opportunities to earn more hero points during the session by being heroes?
Sometimes. That's
Excellent.
a more complicated question than it sounds.
Understood.
Because this
Let's
is a
track 'em.
campaign. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So, Marcel, They are out of sight.
Yes.
They have gone around the bend and over the hill. Time for you to track. It's all you.
Is it? All right, and excellent. Well, this is what I do. I close my eyes and I take a deep breath, and I roll my dice. With advantage, I rolled a 15 or an 8. I'll take the 15. Plus 4 survival is 19, and plus a 1d4 is 1 is another 20.
All right. So with a 20, you can basically storytell this. You can let them get far enough ahead that they can't possibly see you if you like. It's up to you. It's several hours hike to get to the expo site.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well,
over to you, Andy.
Excellent. Then I've taken this deep breath. I will open my eyes, and he has this general affable sense about him that is, that was the flowers, it's wonderful. All that is gone. And there's a very serious, very tall half-orc standing there, and he goes, "We must go now." And I lead them down very quietly, very businesslike. We must go this way, going down the stairs through the house, and we wait until I can tell they're about 2 kilometers away. And he said, "Now," and we follow them, keeping about 2 kilometers back, but always going to where we're out of sight, behind some rubble, behind some dead trees, following in a kind of a zigzag portion, following them towards their goal.
Just want to quickly lean over to Holler. Oh shit, he's a professional.
Am I supposed to bring the cart?
No. Just your weapons, and you don't have any armor. Do you have armor?
No.
We're going to get you some armor.
It's expensive.
You can put... Yes, it is, but you can put it in... Let's go.
All right. So this works. And a fair ways away, you can actually start to see this. It's a gray dome in a gray land covered in gray mist, but you can still see it above the tree line and whatnot. This hemisphere of an opaque force wall that apparently nobody knows where it came from. And the dwarfs who were in charge of security at this thing are marching right up to it. And you can see that they're slowing down as they're getting close. And Anandi does something to her chainmail armor and pulls away from one sleeve, and she's got a dragon mark showing on her forearm, and it glows brightly, and as she touches it to the hemisphere, it spirals open, and the 4 dwarfs walk through, and then the dome closes behind them.
Wow.
So they are inside this dome. You have learned how that was done. Good job. And thank you for watching Dice Friends. This has been episode 1 of Best of Intentions. Please join us in a week, and we'll do more of this.